Hey, welcome. I bet you want a cocktail. Well, you've come to the right place. This is the Drunken Sailor Cocktail, and this is the place where we make delicious cocktails. If you haven't met me before, I am Bill the Drunken Sailor. Today we're going to show you a delicious cocktail that comes from, if you haven't guessed from my shirt, the wonderful island of Hawaii. Actually, Waikiki Beach. In the 30s, there was a bar there named the House Without a Key. It was located inside the Halekalani Hotel. At that time, it was a pretty famous place there. Well, what better to name a cocktail after a famous hotel? Today, we're making the Halekalani cocktail. Let's get pouring. Well, this cocktail is got a couple extra ingredients than we normally put in our cocktails, but they're very fresh. They're fruit juices, so this one is really, really tasty. Well, let's start pouring. Our first ingredient going in the glass is going to be some fresh pineapple juice, and we're going to use 1/2 ounce. Next ingredient going in there is some freshly squeezed lemon juice. And I keep telling people, make sure you use fresh juices because fresh really is best. 1/2 ounce. Next ingredient going in there is some freshly squeezed orange juice. And sometimes when you get your orange juice and you squeeze it fresh, it'll separate on you. So give it a little swirl before you pour it. 1/2 ounce. Next ingredient in there is some demerara syrup. Now, demerara syrup is a cane sugar that's not quite refined, so it's a little bit darker than a simple syrup, and it's a 2-to-1 sugar ratio. We're going to use just 1/4 ounce in there. We're going to follow that up with some grenadine. Now, that's a pomegranate syrup, and we're going to use about 1 bar spoon. That's about 1/2 teaspoon. Just a touch in there. Next ingredient, Angostura bitters. And we're going to put 1 dash. Told you it's a couple more than we're used to, but we finally got to the good stuff. We're next are using some bourbon. And today, in honor, some friends of ours just got a new dog, and they're calling him Tanner, but Dan, Sue, I'm sorry. I've told you he doesn't look like Tanner. His name is Woodford. We're naming him after the bourbon. We're going to use 1.5 ounces. Good puppy, Woodford. That is everything that needs to go into this glass. Of course, we got to ice it up to chill it down. Let's put lots of ice in there. We want this really, really cold, because it's got to refresh us on a hot summer day. Put the top on that, and let's give this a good shake. The side of my tin is all condensed. That tells me it's nice and cold. Let's get the top off of this. And now I need to get a coupe. We've had our coupe nice and chilling. And now we need to strain. Because we've used fresh fruit juices and there's pulp in there, and this is a very refined cocktail, we're going to double strain it. That's going to get the pieces of pulp and any small pieces of ice we've got out of there. Look at that. We're almost done. We'll get my glass of fresh garnishes, and for this one, well, I'm not in Hawaii and I just can't pick an orchid off of the pathway. We're just going to drop a couple of flowers in there, and there's today's cocktail, the Halekalani. Let's give it a taste. That has some really, really good fruit flavors in there. You got the sweetness of the pineapple, the tanginess of the orange juice, the brightness of the lemon, all brings that in there. We've got a nice, smooth, wheated bourbon to top it off. That bitters, the Angostura bitters in there. That's like salt and pepper to everything. It just makes those flavors pop. This one is sure to enjoy. Cheers, everybody.